Welcome back. You're now tuned into the other side of sports. I'm your host, Laws, in the building. We got my man Aaron. We rocking out. Got a lot of stuff on tap today. We're gonna talk about how they coming after my man Dan, dog. They coming for Dan head, dog, in his neck. There's a lot of rumors out here going around. They saying the learners trying to sell the Nats so they can buy to purchase the team, and it's a whole bunch of posturing. And we're gonna get down to the get down and what we really think is going on a little later in the show.
I will be size though. That
You
might
said
bring
what?
me back. That might bring me back.
Oh, so we can stop hiring these dinosaurs, dog. But we're gonna get into that. A little bit of draft talk. We're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs and the play-in games that are tonight. I'm of course we started the show early because I'm trying to get out and hit some golf balls, get my game right. Dog, when the weather is nice, Bammers can't stay indoors, dog. It's
Yeah, I'll
just
be
not.
fishing tomorrow morning, taking off and going
You already
fishing. Dog.
know. You already know what the drill is. I can't even say Bama's from the job site. Watch me on here, so I gotta be careful. Oh, I know what kind of moves I'm making, dog. But I'm telling you, the weather's nice. Got the 9 in the background. You already see it in the corner. We getting it in. Uh, but for starters, we got question of the day. So this question of the day is a little different, right? Because this question of the day comes from somebody and they didn't write it up. They just was like, this is my scenario. Go ahead and share my scenario on the show and let the people hear what's going on. Okay. So here's the scenario. So this guy, he's dating this girl. He's been dating this girl for 3 years, right? When they first started dating, he explained to her that he didn't want to have children, that he didn't want to be married. He already has 2 kids. He has one at 7 and one at 9. And he had them with his first wife. They were married for maybe about like 5 or so years, but they got married real young. So after their marriage kind of fizzled out, he just decided he didn't want to get married anymore. So here comes a youngin' along the way. They stepping. Everything is good. Relationship is good. Now she's starting to express that she really wants a desire to have children, right? He already has 2. She has none. She's older. She's 36. He's 42. So the question is, right? She put the ultimatum out there for him to say, basically, this is what I want, and what's going on. Like, basically, either we're going to go in this direction or I'm out, right? And so the dude is kind of conflicted because he really like young and he thinking about it like we already talk about. It ain't a lot of good youngins out here, Aaron. You already know it just thin crop, right? So he got a young and he feel like she legit worth the sticking it out, but he just don't want to get married. What should he do?
I mean, you can't get marriage ain't something you can get pressured into doing, and that joint just be successful. Or
Nah.
having kids. Every time one of them cry and you don't feel like dealing with it, you're gonna resent her or feel like these are her kids. Like when it's time to get up in the middle of the night, you wanted them, you go. You know what I mean? That's how Bama's gonna feel. That's just human
You
nature.
already know,
So
dog.
if your position is that you don't want to, that's not what you want for yourself, and you don't want to be chasing kids at 70 years old, you know what I mean? It's just you gotta stick by your guns. You can't let you in middle school, you 40 something years old, and you worried about liking a youngin, and that's gonna make you change your life plans. That just don't seem logical to me. Now, if maybe you've been around her and maybe you moved off your position some, and maybe you could see yourself, you know what I mean, getting married or having kids with the youngin. But if that's not how you feel and you just doing this to keep her, that sounds like some simp gump type stuff to me.
Yeah, I'll say this. I don't believe that he's in that position where he's about to acquiesce. He's just saying that it's a hard decision to make because youngin is a good youngin. But his words were, if this car ain't in the driveway in a couple months, you already know what happened.
Oh, yeah. If that's the case, then I mean that's the way it should be. Of course, like if you've been around somebody for a while, he said 3 years. It's probably like she a part of his life completely. So it's gonna be like somebody just dropping dead. Like it's gonna be a grieving process where you just adjusting to somebody that was a part of your life not being a part of your life. But you can't change the plans you have in your 40s to keep a young.
Yeah, dog. I mean, the thing is that's what I'm saying. Like so I always like using analogies, right? So if a team is trying to get you, you're a free agent, and they put a contract out there. It's only so long you can just use up the amenities of the facility, play ball in a gym, and use their showers and all that stuff before the contract got to get signed or it's going to get ripped up, dog. It's just how it go, right? When you in that position. Now, if there's no contract on the table and they just saying anytime you want to come by and use the facility, it's on you, then that's different. But once the contract is on the table, dog, you gotta accept or reject. You can't live in limbo. So a decision is going to have to be made, right? And if you're a good dude, I figure you just make the decision for her, dog. I mean, that sounds very difficult because you know how it be. Like, as long as they let me use the facility, dog, I'm in there, dog. Till they tell me I gotta leave, right? I'm hooping in the jump, taking the bubble bath in the hot tub, all that. Till they force me out, right? And sometimes people be like that in relationships. Like it's all good, young and Ned, she holding you down, all like that. But dog, for the betterment, if you really care about her, right, then you're not going to string along, dog. You're not going to string along. You're going to cut the jump. If it ain't really nothing there, right? Because ultimately, it's just going, especially if y'all been dating solid for 3 years, jump just going to hurt worse, dog. It just go ahead, cut it, dog. Just go ahead, cut it.
And just FYI, if you a dude who has decided that you don't want to be with a youngin or get married or have kids or whatever the case, do not date a woman that does not have kids or whose biological clock is ticking. No matter what she agrees to in the beginning, biology and emotion is going to take over.
As soon as you go get ice cream, it's like
a problem. So if that's the case, you might want to date a young that already got a kid, already maybe have been married.
It's on the same wavelength.
And it's on the same wavelength. Because youngins try to act like I don't care about kids. I'm gonna be the rich auntie. It's a lie. Circumstances is causing them to say that. And when
but you know how it go. Batman met her at Target. He ain't really peep all the schematics. He just saw the body and was like, "Yeah, what's up, young? What's happening?" Then you
gotta stick to the 3 strike rule. But if you swing more than 3 times, you stuck.
You stuck, dog. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's dog. It don't matter what you say. It matters what you do.
So no matter what a youngin say, no matter what you say to her in the beginning, from the jump, even if she signed on the dotted line,
you can say, "I'm a cold killer. I done kill all the youngins I've been with."
No matter what she agrees to, it's going to change. Exactly.
Not gonna kill me. He loved me. Dog. Speaking of this, dog, it about to put us in hot water, dog, with Cam Newton, dog. He in hot water, bro.
Well, probably
you know why he in hot water?
Anytime they get mad, there's probably some truth behind it.
Let's hear what he had to say, Cam Newton.
I had a perfect example of what a man was in my life by my father. Mm-hmm. My parents has been together for 36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother. And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is a person who's just, girl, I'm a bad bitch. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
And it's a lot of women who are bad bitches. And I say bitches in a way not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Mm-hmm. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that. No, baby, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
Dog, he's in hot water. He's
Where's
in
the
hot
lie?
water. Hold on. Dog, first of all, I had more problem with his impersonations of youngest than I did with what he had to say. Cause
That's better than anything I heard out of any press conference he didn't given in the last 10 years. That man sounds spot on to me.
dog, listen. I don't know what all the uproar is about.
Yes, you do.
I don't know. Like it just to me, can women not cater to men anymore? Is that off the table?
That's not what he's saying. He's saying that there's just different types of people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if you chase one type of person, don't be surprised if you don't get the things that come with that other type of person. That's just what it is. And that goes with both ways. When youngers want to date dudes that's, you know what I mean, outside, or what they say, Bama with the swag, or got this and got that, but is not checking those boxes that make sure that home stays intact. It's like it goes both ways. But you know you're not allowed to say things that appear to say a woman isn't everything perfect in the world, all encompassing in one. So you know how that goes. But we don't care over here.
Is it misogynistic what he was saying?
How?
She
What did he
can't
say?
cook?
That's misogynistic? You hate women because
I'm asking.
So because some women can't cook, you hate women?
So that's the thing. So that's the thing. I just, yeah, dog. It don't line up.
A man can't like a woman that could cook. What's wrong with that? His mother could cook. His grandmother could cook. Why can't he desire a woman that could cook? What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with it.
Because the youngin in the comment section can't cook is a problem. Stop.
Or she can't get nobody to cook for.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, dog. I didn't really have no problems with the comments. Like, I know this blown up. Maybe is this just, dog? I feel like it's a plant, dog. It's a plant that's like in the society that's just like taking anything and just trying to drum it up for like, because this don't even like fall in the area of like something reckless.
But this is how, no, there are tons of women on the internet who it seemed like they just sit on Twitter with their thumbs ready, waiting for somebody to say something that's not
I feel
celebrating.
Like is it a cultural thing though?
It's 100% a cultural thing.
Because me and Kat was talking about it the other day, and I was just like, no, like women of other cultures don't have these problems. You say cater, they like what? Like that isn't even, they don't even brush a shoulder to that. That's a badge of honor for them.
For the ones that value men. There are some who just want to be autonomous, but they embrace that autonomy fully. You don't hear them crying about being protected by men after acting like they want to be on their own. It's just, you got to make a decision. You make a choice, a lifestyle, just stick to it. Things come with that choice.
Yeah. I mean, for it to be drummed up as much as it's being drummed up, right? I'm confused. Like I really looked at it to see what all the fuss is about. And it bothers me when I see people of other cultures try to highlight it as if it's a problem for their culture when it's not. That's why I say it seemed a little funny to me.
On like the divide between black men and black women. Everybody capitalizes off it, throws like throws stuff on the fire just to keep it going, and then they go home to their peaceful household or their culture or their functioning lifestyle. And you know what I mean? Everybody just feeds off of the negativity that goes on with black people, though.
It's a dirty game. It's a dirty game. I mean, yeah. I don't know, man. I just looked at the comments. I'm like, oh, what did he say? Like, what? I had to watch it twice to just figure out. Like, I'm like, are they mad because he used the B word? Like, I mean, he did slip. He said the B word, and he said, I'm not trying to use it in derogatory, but by default, it is derogatory.
That's the term they use. It sounded like he was like not mocking him in a way, but kind of like just repeating repeating what he hears them say. Yeah, like basically it's mocking. Yeah,
I said, don't you?
Yeah, you gotta chill out. You already on Sweetwater territory.
You already on thin. icing. You better just chill out, dog. Like, oh no, man.
But we just in a new space, I feel like, in the last couple of years where guys are getting tired of this bubble that a lot of people live in where certain demographics can't be criticized. And so, like, now that we're in a space where black men are feeling comfortable saying what they like, what their preferences are, people are having trouble with it because they're not used to black men, straight black men anyway, saying, this is what I like. This is what I look forward to. I don't want this.
Yeah, it's been a myth. That's why there's so much confusion now. Youngsters don't even know what a man wants.
That's why they don't know how to treat us, because we've
when
been so scared.
You say, look, I just want a hot meal and
you be quiet every once in a while.
They're like, what
the heck?
What?
Exactly.
What? Like, but the ones who do understand, Aaron, and understand it,
they got rings.
They married.
Me and Rick was talking about this the other day. Like, all the foolishness is from all the ugly single joints on the internet. The youngest that actually got men in their life or got husbands, you don't never hear them being a part of this foolishness. It's always the Ugg mugs and the lonely joints.
The thing is, it's truth to it, because every time
you was laughing when I first said it.
When we see certain stuff on the internet,
pull up the
then
profile picture.
you go do an investigation to see who said it. Then I'm like, dang, dog. Like, after you keep hitting on it, I'm like, dog, it's something to it, right?
It's true.
And honestly, right, it just is what it is. I'm like, dog. I tried it. I'm like, dog, not every bum junk gonna be saying this. I'm like, let me just see. Then I was like, oh. It's a high frequency.
It's a pandemic, so it is. But this is the thing, like, and it's something that you're not allowed to really discuss in the real world. Like, men are treated based on their ability to provide. Like, what do you provide? Like, if you can't do that, then the way your view of life is skewed differently. Like, if you have a lot of access, if you have resources, you're treated differently than a man that does not have a lot of resources. Women are treated based on how they look. They can try to fight biology and not like it and bitch and complain, but the fact is the fact. A woman that is not as attractive physically as a woman who is very attractive is going to have a very different experience in life. Very different.
That's true.
And they're fine with it when the benefit falls in their favor, but when it's not, then it's time to throw a temper tantrum. It's just what it is. And so they get jealous of youngins when they see the youngin on IG
say that, Aaron.
Who's a 9.5 getting treated a certain way, and they believe they deserve the same thing from the same people. Instead of going and getting with a 2.
I stop.
It's the truth.
It's
if
the
you
truth.
Two,
no,
go
the thing
get
is,
with a 2.
if I tried to go apply for a job right now that I was not qualified for, they would laugh me out the building, dog.
And they would understand that.
They would like, if I try to just go and say I want to be the GM of the Washington Wizards right now today, and I just apply right on paper, they would be like, my resume wouldn't even get off the computer into like you know how it dwindled down to the next round. It wouldn't even make the first round. Like, it wouldn't even make it through the automated system that like kind of put your credentials just together. Dog, I'm not getting an interview. So I can't like get mad, like, oh, y'all they didn't interview me. Dog, I could do this. It's like, dog, it just reality is reality.
Yeah, but that demographic is very resentful towards men for not being treated the same way that they see some women being treated. And this is what we have to deal with. The fake dragging on social media.
Well, I don't have to deal with none of it because I'm locked up. I said, I'm
married.
locked up. Don't let me out. Yeah. Dog, you out here in the street, so you got to navigate this whole.
I'm loaded, though, so I don't have to deal with the food. I still got my picks.
Dog. Oh, man. From that note on to a more somber note. I hate the move to move like this, but this week we learned the unexpected tragic death of Dwayne Haskins, quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, former Washington football team quarterback. And I was watching the Masters, and I just seen a text, and I'm like, what is this? I thought it was a joke. I'm like, oh, what? And then, sometimes you'll get a message and it'll say like somebody died, but like it's talking about their family member or something, but it's not necessarily them. But they'll just tag their name because they're like the highlight to the text to get people to read it, whatever. So when I look, I'm like, oh, like something happened in his family, whatever. And then I actually found out that there was truth to it. And then I saw this tweet from Adam Scheffler. And I just was like, I was confused just as to like why he had to highlight the negative things around his career with the text about him tragically dying. And the jump was just like, I'm thinking like, oh, well, like, bro, what is you doing? Like, how disrespectful is that? Like, it's not like we talking about it like 3 weeks later. It's fresh off the press. Then he goes and he like changes the tweet again and he tweets something else out. And then he changes the tweet again. Bama did like 3 different tweets. And to me, it's just like people like this just need to be like stripped of their credentials, dog. Cause it just shows the fact that they really don't care about nobody. Like they don't care. I don't think, this is me personally, and some people could feel differently, but I don't believe that if it was a white player,
Right.
if this was Baker Mayfield or somebody of that nature, that he would have prefaced the tweet the same way. I just don't believe it would have been that prefaced that way. Right now, there's always the possibility, oh, Harold, you race baiting, you don't know something. I'm just saying, this is just what I personally believe. Like, when you do stuff like that and you don't give any kind of thought to it or even recognize like that, to me, that's just who you are. You're a dirtbag.
He's a confirmed piece of shit, though. We've seen like some of the stuff he's got caught doing, and like the snake behind the scenes, like letting Bama's edit your story that you about to release stories on them about with Bruce Allen. Like, he's a confirmed piece of shit. But the fact that he's the demographic that he is, there's not going to be any penalty. He was allowed to get away with that, which should have been the most egregious thing in journalism that he did when it came to the Bruce Allen story. Letting Bama's proofread your work before you release it. That tells you flat out that you're not about integrity, objective journalism and integrity at all.
Yeah, I just, then it had some other dude was interviewed, ex-GM for the Cowboys or something. I can't think of dude's name.
Gil Brandt, I think.
Gil Brandt. He on there talking about, well, why was he running on the highway and this and that? Like the insensitivity to the fact that somebody at 25, dog, it's just the lack of empathy for a black life. Like, dog, he's 25 years old, right? And then, of course, because of it, people just like, oh, was he drinking? Was he on drugs? Was like, what would cause you to, like, it's like all of this, that the negative just already just floods in, right? And it's like, come on, people.
And I'm going to take it back even further than this. And this is the issue. This is why, like, when Bama's coon chips start activating here in this city.
3.0. They got the 3.0.
I had issues when you try to destroy people to get away with the agenda that you have. You want to get away from him as a quarterback, so you come out and say he's stupid, he doesn't work hard, he's not a good person, all these other things you do to get your narrative going. Then when other people approach him in that way, you hide your hands behind your back, you know what I mean? And this is what happens, because white people tend to believe other white people or people who pass as white when they imply a black person is less than. So when you say, you basically imply that Dwayne is like a lazy bum and he doesn't care, you know what I mean? He's a no good person because you want to start somebody else as your quarterback. And then the rest of the world approaches him like that on these kind of platforms. That stuff matters. And this is why I get pissed off when Bama's here start activating their coon chips and making excuses for the way they treat black players that they don't want to start versus when it's a white player. You got to watch it play all the way out, and you never hear these narratives that they talk about Bama's being lazy or dumb or not watching film, not coming in at 3 a.m. and stay until 2:30 a.m. Like, you never hear these narratives. And this is what this stuff leads to. Like, people can try to separate them, but they're directly connected.
Yeah, it's just a total lack of empathy. And don't get it twisted. Like, when Dwayne Haskins was a Washington football team player, I was critical of him. But I'm critical of everybody. Taylor Heineke, spike punch headed. I'm critical of him too. Everybody, like when it comes to sports, I'm going to be as objective as possible. But if a man dies, good night. Can he get a little bit of empathy for a moment in time without you trying to like, discredit him or highlight some of his missteps?
They do it because they can. It's no penalty.
Yeah.
He should have been suspended or something. Like, this is ridiculous.
Something. But it's the world that we live in. Oh, it's the world that we live in. Speaking of harsh criticism, your boy,
y'all superstar.
Hey, go ahead.
Y'all superstar.
on the exit interview, Russell Westbrook stated that he basically, I'm paraphrasing, didn't really get a fair shake here before the media kind of took stories and created a perception about him that people ran with. And, they were asking him these questions. So one of the reporters was like, well, can you tell us one of the stories or something to give us an example of it? And he was like, oh, nah, y'all know what it is. I'm not going to do that because it's not true. So it's no point in me trying to holler. I don't think the Bama really got nothing, right? Yeah. Like there were stories and stuff and narratives, but bro, you was writing the narratives for him, dog. Your play added to the issues that you had, right? And then you had a coach and Frank Vogel. Everybody saying Frank Vogel is not his fault. He tried to challenge Russ and get him to play better. He didn't bench Russ. I don't want to hear it, dog. He didn't bench him. He didn't say
maybe he should have. Maybe that's what a good coach would have done.
That's what I'm saying. So all this, Frank Vogel's a really good coach, and this dog, really good coaches, like, bro, you're not doing what I'm asking you to do, and I'm challenging you in certain ways, the turnovers and stuff. Bro, you gotta sit by me. He didn't want to do it because why? He don't have authority as a head coach to do that. And that's just the bottom line. He got the coaching title, but the Bama real coaches, dog, the coaches that I played for when I was growing up, bro, earn.
You weren't making $42 million a year, though.
I wasn't making $42 million a year either. That's a fact, too.
But it's real different when you're on scholarship and you need that break to get through school versus a Bama making 42 and he can tell you.
Right, though. I'm just telling the coaches be like, sit, hey, look,
like you sit there.
As soon as I pull up, before the ball get out my hand, I'm like, coach, you ain't gonna let me get a little bit of burn out here. I'm just saying, no. He had the green light to do whatever he wanted to do.
This was just a bad fit. It just never made sense from the beginning. This was a LeBron ego move where he wanted to prove that. This is another Jim Rick was saying, like, he wanted to prove that because you remember he played with KD too. Westbrook did. So he wanted to prove I can win with Westbrook. Like, if you send him to me, like, I'll get it done. And these Bamas didn't even make the playoffs. Like, it's just
the Pelicans made the playoffs ahead of these Bamas, dog.
We gotta stop the Michael Jordan, LeBron. Like, that's gotta stop.
It's over. It's over.
They two different kinds of players, two different generations. No more of that. Like, that part is over.
No, and then they try to say, like, this. Sometimes I don't really like. I get it. If you have to talk on the radio every day, you're gonna say something idiotic. It's just a fact. I'm sorry.
You gotta fill time. I get.
Yeah, you gotta fill time. And if you talking every single day, you gotta talk about the different topics, same subjects that keep being recurrent. You're gonna say something stupid. No, I heard a Bama on the radio say LeBron James, he's not the same player, and where he would 10 years ago, he could have carried this team, or 5 years ago, he would have been able to carry. No, the Bama statistically numbers was through the roof. What are you talking about? Bama had 30 plus. His numbers was right in line with his whole career. So magically, that just doesn't have an impact on the team. No, dog. No.
The rest of the league is much better than it's been generally. Like, there's more parity in the league now than it's been probably the last 10 years. There's always been like one or two teams. Like, you have the Warriors, you have the Cleveland teams with LeBron or wherever LeBron was. Then you'll have like the Spurs. But there hasn't been this much parity where every night, like those type of teams can get beat and not be able to amass enough wins to go on these losing streaks or deal with these injuries that they're dealing with AD, who's always hurt, or trying to facilitate adjusting to Westbrook coming in. It's just they weren't able to amass enough win streaks or pad their stats with enough wins against the garbage teams to be able, because they were one of the garbage teams, to be able to like slide into the playoffs dealing with all that adversity.
And I think maybe in LeBron's mind, like, oh yeah, we'll still be able to stay afloat and get there. But the season, dog, you know how it goes. You lose enough games, then it's a tall hill to climb. And I think with the injuries to AD, this Bama ankle, I'm gonna call him Mr. Glass, because that Bama just stay hurt all the time. Ankles, knees, calves, something always wrong with his legs, dog. So he just need to sit down, do commentating or something. I don't know, but basketball might be passing him by, dog. And I know people will say, "Dog, AD, when he's playing, he's one of the best top premier players and stuff like that." Yeah, how many games he played this year? 20, if that. It's just not enough. And so you got a Bama who's hurt all the time. You got Jack Johnson and Westbrook who just going jack shots and turn the ball over and run up and down the court, play hard, which he does, right? But it just doesn't translate to wins, right? So, and you got LeBron, dog, and LeBron is the all-around, can do everything. But if you're that disjointed,
as smart as LeBron is as a player and basketball IQ, he's a terrible general manager. Like at some point, somebody's gonna have to pull a Jerry Krause and be like, "Look, you're a cooker, we get it, but let us put the team together and you play with what you got." Because every time he's been in control of the roster, you have to make moves as head coach and players and shuffle things around. Like just let LeBron cook and get him the help he needs.
Aaron, I agree with you 100%, but we too far. No, that's like saying somebody can your employer pay you less next year and you just take less. Like, no, once you already got your lifestyle situated, once you already been moving pieces and getting players and had a hand in it, to then fall back and not have a hand at all, that's just not the natural progression, though.
This is not 22-year-old LeBron, though. Like, you ain't got to kiss his ass and hope he re-sign and stay for 5 years. You need to win this year, next year. You need to win. If he under contract, you say, no, we're not bringing Westbrook in. We're going to get Buddy Hield, make these other moves we need to make, and you would have made the playoffs. What is he going to do? Quit?
The Pelicans made the playoffs, though.
His legacy is important. He's not going to quit. He needs every year he has. So he's going to go out there and try to make it work, which probably would have been a better product than being out there with Westbrook.
But who in the organization has the cachet to just be like, LeBron, shut up, sit down? Like you
don't have to tell him to shut up. You just do what you're going to do. White men been doing this on the planet for 65 million years. Know what you mean? They listen to you say, yeah, we're gonna make change, and they go behind the scenes, close the door. And you
don't think that LeBron being disgruntled would have been?
What's more disgruntled than missing the playoffs? Not even making the play-in game.
Not even making the play. No, the play-in game just opened up a whole floodgate of teams that would never have a chance ever.
You couldn't make 9 and 10. You got 2 extra seeds over there that he couldn't make.
Dog.
You mean you tell me not giving him Westbrook would have had him in a worse mood than this?
Dog, the Pelicans, their roster is like they traded for CJ McCollum. They ain't have Zion all year. He want to leave. It's rumors he trying to go to New York. All this stuff. These Bama still made the playing game, dog. You gotta be.
So it's no excuse, dog. You just gotta. Sometimes you gotta help Bama's get out their own way, and this is just one of those scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Nah, facts. Speaking of the playing games, right? We got some games tonight, 7:00. You got the Cavs and the Nets, Clippers and the T-Wolves. Then tomorrow you got the Hornets and the Hawks, the Spurs and the Pelicans, Aaron. I can't believe the Pelicans made it. Oh,
Lonzo Ball.
Is the Brooklyn Nets we're gonna see Brooklyn advance past the Cavs?
They have to.
So I'm gonna just tell y'all know I'm Stearns orders all day, right? We Stearns orders over here. For those who don't know the term Stearns order, It came from David Stern, always pulling strings behind the scenes to get the money, right? It's all about revenue generation, right? And so when you look at the two top teams, the Nets and the Cavs, who brings in more eyes? The Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie, Durant, and potentially Ben Simmons.
But you shouldn't even need help or eyes to get this done. This should be an automatic W. Automatic W.
You right.
Brooklyn also dealt with a lot of adversity with Kyrie not being able to play at home games and being out for a good portion of the year. Ben Simmons and his injury, the trade. So they've been dealing with a lot too, but they're a vastly superior team to Cleveland. So and Durant is also one of those players who wants to be thought about in the greatest of all time conversation, at least top 10. So you got to get this done. You can't end up losing this game. No way, no how.
Then you have the Clippers at 9:30 versus the T-Wolves. Clippers hung on, got a playoff spot. They matched up against the T-Wolves, Karl Anthony Towns, after the whole debacle with what's man who left him with the Miami Heat? Jimmy Butler and all that, calling him soft, milkshake, and all that stuff.
It worked.
Now he has a chance to redeem himself and really get into the playoffs. So I like Paul George in the Clippers in the T-Wolves game. Who you got in that one?
I don't know. I don't watch enough of those two teams to get to a point where I can say with any respect which way that's going to go. I don't know that I've seen either team play this year.
I'm going to go ahead and lean with the Timberwolves, though. I think that they have, they got Karl Anthony Towns, and they got the Bug. What's that Bama name, dog? The Bug. The Haitian Bug. You know what I'm talking about.
Who always trying to
start with a P.
Act like he tough.
Yeah, he always acting like he tough, dog. But I just think that they, I don't think the Clippers have an answer for Karl Anthony Towns. And if he plays like we know he can play, I just think it'll be a done deal there. Then you have the Hornets at the Hawks. This is a good one, dog. I like these young backs. I like Trae Young. I like LaMelo. I like the Hornets to win and get into the playoffs, dog. I like the Hornets. They got a solid squad. Hawks is tough. And then you got the 10 and 11 or the 9 and 10, the Spurs and the Pelicans. I think I'm going to go with the Spurs in this one. I don't think Popovich, he's still top 10 coaches of all time in NBA. So I think they'll have enough to get past the Pelicans.
But Pelicans got my favorite player in the league on the squad. Need to get him on the Wizards somehow.
Stop. Who's that?
Brandon Ingram.
Oh, yeah, you like Brandon. I like Brandon too, dog. If the Wizards could do it, but, they already got a lanky, tall forward on the team in Kuzma. I think Brandon Ingram's better than Kuzma, hands down.
Right.
But they kind of play the same position.
Is y'all man playing tonight? Oh, he's still.
Ooh. Zion not playing for the Pelicans no more, dog. He's done. He's done playing for the Pelicans, Aaron. I'm telling you, he's not playing no more. They done took this man off the Flyers. They done stopped mentioning him. You don't even see his name or his picture pop up when they start previewing the team. When they do the team previews and the commercials, you don't see Zion no more, dog. They don't show him dunking and none of that. Pelicans is done with him. It's just a matter of time, dog. It's just a matter of time.
They gonna get a king ransom for him?
No, they gonna get a team that's desperate to get a name player like the Knicks and run with it. That's what they gonna do, dog. That's the formula. That's the formula. Teflon Dan, dog. New report comes out saying that it's not looking good, Aaron. They saying that the Bama was running the organization like the mafia. Saying he was couching financial money underneath other sporting events, and one of the people who was, I guess, worked for the team for 25 years is testifying against the Bama, dog. Is this gonna be the rope that unravel and get Dan up out of there?
If it's true, he gonna
Dog,
be out of there. If it's true,
like the
he
evidence
might go
is-
to jail.
Dog,
That's
they
considered
said-
money laundering and some more stuff, dog. Not laundering,
Dog.
but dog, you can't play with the bread.
You can't play with the bread. And honestly, I'll say this. This is just real talk. You go look at all the financials for the NFL teams, dog. They all doing some funny business.
Fact.
Guaranteed, dog. When you're a billionaire, you feel like nobody can oversee you. Where's the oversight, dog, when you're a billionaire? All you ever, like, that's what I'm saying. So the fact that they're like looking into it with the magnifying glass, you go and find something, right? The question is it enough to get him off the team, to get to pry it from his hands? Because he's not going to willingly give it.
Right. And I don't think that ever was going to be the case where he was going to willingly sell. The question is, are these investigations that are going to probably lead to, if they keep going on, investigations into other teams in the entire NFL's financials? Are the owners going to be like, man, F this joint getting too hot, you got to go? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think this whole assassination is attempting, to get the other owners to a point where they're like we can't fight this man's battles no more. He about to get to the point where he's going to mess everything up for everybody.
I don't. Dan's lawyers fought back. They basically saying that the guy is not credible, that how, why he worked for the team, that they fired him and he's disgruntled employee, and now he tried to get his job back a few weeks ago, and this and that. They playing the whole card. Like, it's starting to take a turn that I think people like. Like if you at the pool and somebody's standing at the top of the platform on the diving board and you just watching them up there and you like, dog, are they gonna ever just jump down? Like, and they just standing up on it's like, this is the inevitable. Like, are they gonna get Dan out of here? It looks like they got the heat-seeking missiles to get this man out of that team office, bro. And Dan, dog, where's your goodwill with the people out here, dog?
Nobody likes him. So it's in a position now where nobody's coming to his defense. He just gonna have to ride this joint out solo, dog. If this don't get him out, first of all, the Bama list is gonna be wrapped around the corner. That's first and foremost. But if this don't get him out, this Bama gonna be so untenable. Can you imagine if Bama's ain't like him before and they tried all this, emptied all the
but
cannons?
that might be the juice that the team need. That might be the juice, Aaron. Like, oh, y'all trying to get me out? Oh, all right. And then
go get some loyal black folks around you. You got all these other Bamas out here. When they don't get what they want, then they roll you up under the bus.
No, if a coon chip get activated, they'll turn on them too, dog. Dog, word on the street that at the 47th pick in the second round, that the Washington football team could be targeting Sam Howell out of UNC.
He basically, but he got Ron written all over him.
Bro,
it's the second round, so I wouldn't it's a waste, but this is what your team does, dog.
It's Tim Tebow. This Batman's Tim Tebow with a little better arm, dog.
This is what your
Tim
team
Tebow.
does.
I don't watch the game tape. Of course, we preparing for our analysis and stuff, dog.
Vanilla milkshake. That's
exactly what this Batman is. He Tim Tebow, dog, with a little bit better arm. Tim Tebow can't throw the ball from the house to the car. Like he can do. This dude can at least throw it from the house to the car. And I just
Mitchell Trubisky part two.
No, he ain't even Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky at least 6'3". This Batman's 6'1", and I think they sizing it because in the pro day he looked shorter than that to me. And then he got I don't say a pop gun arm, but it ain't nothing to just wow you. Like he just looked real regular. And like
that's what they want, Harold.
He definitely looked like a do-gooder, work harder type Bama who just
he gonna be there 4:30 in the morning. He gonna leave 9:30 at night and then get get
and
scrubbed out on the field every Sunday.
no,
You know
and
how it goes.
that's the thing. You can see it right away. Like, I mean, granted, Carson Wentz will come in, and this Bama, when he not out here playing Gus Farrat, like with the defensive lineman trying to juke and do like he take too many risks, right? But this guy as a backup, I'm like, you can't get excited about him. I can't get excited about Tim Tebow 2.0. Can't do it.
I don't even really understand drafting quarterbacks in the second round to begin with. Either Alabama is elite and he's your guy and you taking him at the top of the first, or you looking for a backup in the 7th, 6th, 5th round, like a steal. But drafting a guy in the second round is illogical to me. Like, are there any great second round quarterbacks? Like, if you make the list, like, who are the top elite second round quarterbacks? I'm going top of the draft, or just finding guys like a Russell Wilson in the 3rd or the 4th. You know what I mean? Like Kirk Cousins even in the 4th. Like, because that's what you're gonna get out of him.
Yeah, nah, facts.
You know what I mean? That's what you're looking for essentially. And so I just don't understand if you know a guy gonna be there in a second, that means you know he's sorry.
No, he's sorry, dog. I mean, I don't say sorry, but just regular.
He's sorry. In the league, he's gonna be sorry. We're not talking about college.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
In the league, he's sorry.
League gonna be sorry, dog. He gonna be sorry.
You got to be able to. You can't come into these.
You can see it, dog,
and not be able to make all the throws as a quarterback. You setting yourself. You can't even open your whole playbook up if a Bama
out routes was dog. He was hitting Bama's on the out route on the inside shoulder. You already
because he can't drive the football.
No, you already know, dog. If you hit back, if a Bama running out this way and you hitting him on the inside shoulder, dog.
Pick 6 in the league. And what they're gonna do is instead of indicting themselves by letting them play after, they're gonna bury him. The next thing you're gonna know, the Bama just gonna be on another squad after the 2nd or 3rd year. He's a bum, though.
It's unfortunate.
Probably a nice guy. Probably work.
You can watch the tape. You can watch Pro Day. You can see at least at a bare minimum if a Bama can throw the football with zip. At a bare minimum, right? In a scripted 5-on, like, you know, you doing the scripted throws and stuff. You can see if a Bama can throw the football or not. And I'm trying to break Bama's fingers if I'm throwing in the Pro Day, dog. I'm trying.
And people try to dismiss arm strength as something that's like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That tells you at a bare minimum, can you make all the throws that the playbook has in? Can you throw all the routes? Can you throw the corner route? Can you throw the skinny post? Can you throw the go? Can you throw the deep out, which is probably the hardest throw to make if you don't have arm strength? So you don't have to throw it 5 seconds early. Like, that stuff matters.
Herbert got at least 10 touchdowns off of arm strength alone. For his stats for the year, 10 touchdowns was arm strength. Just zipping the ball in there, putting it in a place on the outside where Bama couldn't get it, like, and it just touchdown.
And people like try to, Brady didn't have elite. He might not have like Patrick Mahomes arm strength, but he has B+, A- arm strength. He can make all the throws.
He can make all the throws.
People try to use the excuses of Alabama being available in the 6th and also improving, you know what I mean, himself physically. Like, dog, it matters. You can't.
Bama age back was real talk, because I feel like Brady, like he had like a real like very like soft touch early on in his career, but dog, like with Tampa last year, he was just like, he was.
But he was also doing something he hadn't been asked to do previously, because you know the Patriots was with the dink and dunk, get the slot receivers, take advantage of that, play defense, and then dink.
That definitely spared his arm like a couple years. When he had Randy, he had to let that thing loose.
Yeah, you can't and he was letting it go on the money.
Though he had 50 touchdowns with that Bama.
So arm strength has never been the issue, but people like always downplay it because they don't know the difference. They just hear people say on ESPN it's overrated because you got the niggas coming out there slinging the football, and they be like, "Oh, this Bama got a cannon," and then they try to convince you that the Bama's trash. So they're like, "Oh, arm strength don't matter. The joint matters." Peyton had above average arm strength, like Tom Brady arm strength. Ben Roethlisberger had arm strength. The Bama that was winning chips, Aaron Rodgers. Now, Drew Brees is probably the bottom of the Bamas that had arm strength, but his accuracy was the most accurate
on 99.
Any quarterback that's probably ever played football in the history of the league. So his anticipation and accuracy was so far off the charts that you can't game plan to have a player develop into that.
I feel like Drew Brees falls in that like Steve Young category, like with the arm strength and the accuracy, like it just marries well. It just marries well. Where they can just get the ball there, like they can get the ball there. So,
And you can't, but you can't go into a draft expecting a player to develop into that. That's where you look foolish as a GM. Your ego gets you fired. Obama is generally accuracy and arm strength wise. Obama is generally going to be what he has been in college and what he is when you evaluate him. You're not going to see somebody jump way off the charts as far as improving in either area.
Yeah.
Decision making, maybe, but pure accuracy, no.
No, you heard the report around Tom Brady. So there's a report that Tom Brady was set to retire, go on to the Miami Dolphins and be a GM for Stephen Ross and the Dolphins, and then hire Sean Payton back to the Dolphins, and then unretire and play for Sean Payton. And then the Brian Flores, apparently that whole scandal situation blew up that whole plan. Do you believe that? Because I don't, dog. That's just too far-fetched.
Is it?
Dog, the Bama's going to retire, go be GM, unretire, hire Drew Brees. That's a lot of moving pieces, dog.
It is, but when he was in a situation he didn't want to be in. Him and Bruce Arians didn't get along. So when you trying to get out of these situations, and the NFL has more money than probably any other entity, and they have the money to have the lawyers to make sure whatever they want goes. So you got to be creative when you coming up with ways to kind of get out of these situations and scenarios. So of course, in an ideal world, if he could have just went to another team, that's what he would have done. But Bruce Arians said out his mouth, like, nah, we're not letting him go nowhere else. He's with us, even after he retired. Because he probably had wind that something was up, that this Bama was going to try to go play somewhere else. Because he knew, obviously, that the Bama still had, like, years left in him. Like,
yeah,
the Bama wasn't struggling at the end of the year. He had good numbers. So he knew he could still play football, and that he probably retired.
How many more years does Tom Brady have, dog? This Bama playing football.
He never gets hit, so he can play probably as long as he wants because he takes really good care of his body. Like the polymetrics in the diet.
That's half.
Well, damn, they make you live forever. That's the hardest parts of the discipline that a
dog,
lot of people
the
can't do.
Discipline, dog.
LeBron
Can't eat
does.
cheeseburgers, no
Jordan out here
fries,
smoking and getting drunk while he 35, 40 years. You know what I mean? Like
Jordan got the pipe in his mouth in the locker room.
It's a different level of discipline that comes with being able to play that long at that level. LeBron is one of them. Tom Brady's one of them. But it's not a lot of guys in any sport that fall into that category. So as long as he continues to take care of himself and be mentally in it, the Bama can play. And he might not be the best Bama in the league, but he's not gonna be the worst Bama in the league either.
He ain't gonna be Taylor Heineke.
Right.
Dog.
That would have been crazy though.
That'd have been crazy.
All the moves Miami's made this offseason, got Tyreek Hill and all that. Though.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
That'd be...
Tuck would have committed suicide though. He'd have had to. You see Miami be a Super Bowl contention before
and
that?
the Jets can't get nobody on their roster, dog. The Jets
nobody
right
gonna play
there
with Zach Wilson, a bum. I can't wait till we can cash in on that evaluation.
No, we can.
How many more games y'all need to see?
No, we don't need to see no more games, dog.
How many
He's
more
a
games
bum.
they
Nobody
need to
wants
see?
to play with him. He not like he's not it, dog. We told y'all, and we're gonna tell you this year. It's some guys we're gonna evaluate. You know, of course, we're objective. If Obama is a cooker, he's a cooker. We're gonna tell you he's a cooker.
Ain't
if
no
he's some
in this
trash,
draft.
you said what?
Quarterback. Ain't no cookers in this draft.
Ain't no
not
cookers.
Out the gate.
Yeah, not out the gate. Ain't no cookers.
It's no Justin Herberts. It's none of that. You might get a Josh Allen where 2-3 years the Bama go from being trash to you by okay, but not year one, not year two. Out of the question.
Yeah. So follow us at OSS 980 at Other Side of Sports. Subscribe to our channel. Share the content.
When the Wizards play again? You thought you just gonna skip over what's going on?
No, the Wizards had to lose them last two. No, we need the best draft pick we can get. Now they just can't mess it up, dog. Do not draft no big, tall, lanky Bama overseas. I'll be pissed.
Who's that skinny white boy that I think he had like
he's
that they saying
the Czechoslovakian Bama.
what's his Bama's name? Oh, Washington picked 10th.
Well, right now that's before the lottery though.
Oh yeah, they got the 10th. Oh yeah, I forgot all about it.
With the lottery though, that jump moving on.
Who's that Bama name? Rick can't stand this dude. Every time they put the Bama, what's his
finally
name?
Got a piece of the pie.
I want Jabari Smith. That's who I want.
Jabari Smith, Jaden Ivey. What's the other Bama?
Oh, he must have been falling down.
Which one call needed declared? My man from Duke.
Oh, you talking about the Spanish Bama? What's his name? Rosario or something?
No. Bruh. I can't think of his name, though. Let me see here.
Hey, where y'all man at? I don't even see
Paulo Banchero. Give me
Ranchero. Yeah.
Give me Banchero. No, if we pick, like I'm saying, if we picking it like 4 or 5 and Banchero, he declared for the dog, log it in. Pick that Bama up and keep it moving, dog. He gonna come in right away and get buckets. You pair him with Bradley Beal, you get Kuzma. You can put him at the
Chet
3.
Holmgren.
He's trash. He's trash.
They got him going number 1 overall.
Number 1 to where?
To Houston.
The ABA? No way, dog. He going
this
number
Bama
1.
weigh the same amount as me. This Bama might be 200. They say he 195, 7 feet.
Dog, he just, to me, his game,
they trying to will this Bama to being something. It's just like the who was the Bama that Jordan drafted that was at Gonzaga and was cooking? The Larry Bird. He was a cooker though at Gonzaga. He was getting buckets. Like 6'9" forward. He played for the Wizards for like a year too. You know what I'm talking about.
He not. I'm gonna say who he's not. He's not even the dude we got on the Wizards right now. What's his name? The fake dirt. I'm drawing all these blanks today.
Porzingis.
He not even Porzingis. So that's all you need to know. Like, he not Porzingis. He don't even have Porzingis skill set. So get him out of here, dog. Give me Banchero, Jaden Ivey, the other dude you mentioned. Log it in, dog. Keep it moving. Banchero, to me, he league ready right now. He got the size, the build. You get him with the pro workout Bamas, he gonna give you buckets, dog. He gonna be at the
Sam
baseline. Tobias Harris at the base. He's Tobias Harris. At the top, he might be. Cause I'm trying to think, like, who has his build like that?
Nobody, dog. He's way too skinny to be in the league.
Who? Chet?
Yeah,
Chet
way
trash.
too skinny.
Yeah, he a twig, dog. He can't body me in the post, dog. So I just we not even gonna do it. Let that be somebody else's mistake, not ours, dog. Not ours. Follow us at OSS90, Other Side of Sports. Shout out to Where's Buffy. Shout out to Lance J. Shout out to Sports Talk Tasha. Shout out to Jenna Garcia. Shout out to my man Will. Shout out to my man Chris. Shout out to Wes. My man Omar. Everybody who follow the show, support the brand. We appreciate you, man. Please continue to subscribe and get people on to our show. And we out.